Welcome, everyone. Today, we're jumping right into a truly fascinating explainer. We're going to do a deep dive into teacher Lin Mingxiang's incredibly detailed lecture notes and his complete interpretation of the Visualization Sutra. You know, Teacher Lin has poured his heart into these handouts specifically to promote the Dharma clearly and powerfully on his channel. And what he's offering here, it isn't just high-level theory. It's a highly accessible, direct path right through life's hardest moments. So let's dive right in.
Picture this for a second. Imagine your brain is like a smartphone or a computer that hasn't been shut down or updated in literally years. It's glitching out, it's completely exhausted, right? Now, what if, hidden deep down in its cache memory, there was an ancient code, a specific instruction from millions of years ago, that could force a total system reboot? Would you use it? Well, this is exactly the brilliant modern metaphor Teacher Lin uses to describe our endless cycle of suffering. And more importantly, it shows us the profound tool we already have to stop it. And here is that exact code. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Now what's really fascinating here is Teacher Lin's strict definition of how this actually works. He makes it crystal clear that this is not just about visualizing a pretty image or quietly thinking in your head. No, it is a precise, active, oral recitation. Saying these 6 syllables out loud is the trigger. It's an active spiritual mechanism that immediately taps into what he calls supreme wondrous merits.
To really wrap your head around the power of this mechanism, 50 billion. Just let that number sink in. According to the Sutra, reciting this Buddha's name just one single time eliminates the karmic sins of 50 billion eons, or kalpas of birth and death. It's a completely mind-boggling scale. I mean, while other practices might slowly nudge you from a bad situation to a slightly better one in your next life, Teacher Lin points out that this specific recitation just completely shatters that entire endless cycle. So how exactly does this ancient code work behind the scenes? Let's get into Section 1, the mechanism of light. Activating the light and uncover the actual spiritual theory here, Teacher Lin bases his entire deep interpretation on this authoritative foundation straight out of the Visualization Sutra. It tells us that Amitabha Buddha possesses 84,000 physical characteristics, and every single one of them emits rays of light. And this light, it illuminates the 10 directions, embracing and never forsaking sentient beings who recite the Buddha's name. Basically, it's an automatic divine response system made of pure compassion.
And this perfectly illustrates how that mechanism functions in our messy day-to-day lives. Think about an ordinary sound, okay? A car honking, somebody shouting at you. When that hits our ears, it triggers our ear consciousness. It just leads to worldly attachment, distraction, and, let's be honest, a lot of stress. But Amitabha's sound? Totally different. Teacher Lin explains that the very second you recite those 6 syllables, Amitabha's immeasurable, unobstructed light activates simultaneously. It just bypasses all that ordinary worldly noise and immediately wraps the reciter in absolute protection.
Now, if the idea of immeasurable light feels a little too abstract, Teacher Lin gives us this super comforting modern analogy. Reciting the name acts exactly like picking up a direct, red phone line straight to Amitabha Buddha. There's no annoying automated menu, you're not waiting on hold for hours, it is personally answered by him immediately. It's literally the most powerful condition you can create for yourself to get instant, divine support. But you're probably wondering, does this actually work in the real world for normal people? Let's ground all this theory in reality with Section 2, a real-life miracle, the power of recitation, looking at an incredible modern testimonial from January of 2024. Let's walk through the story of a 33-year-old woman named Lin Pek-sun. From ages 18 to 22, she went through severe bullying because she was introverted and had mild Asperger's. The trauma was so heavy that by the time she was 32, she had been suffering from horrific nightmares of being chased by ghosts every single night for 8 straight years. A friend told her, hey, just try reciting Namo Amitabha Buddha 10 times a day. At first, she totally scoffed at it. She was super skeptical, doing it reluctantly with basically zero sincerity. But guess what? Within just 2 or 3 weeks, those relentless night terrors dropped to only once every few days.
Seeing that it was actually kind of working, she bumped her recitation up to an hour a day. And here is the wildest part. She admits she was really casual about it. She'd be reciting while reading novels or messing around on the computer. But exactly as Teacher Lin emphasizes in his teachings, Amitabha's compassion is absolute. After 2 months of doing this for an hour daily, the nightmares vanished completely. And even crazier, the male harassers at her job just suddenly disappeared. Her work life smoothed out, and her seemingly incurable depression significantly stabilized.
Even her scattered, casual chanting successfully dialed that direct phone line to healing. So that's the real-world impact in this life. But Teacher Lin's notes point us to an even grander horizon. Let's shift gears from worldly healing to Section 3, the ultimate promise, escaping the cycle entirely. The absolute crucial takeaway here is understanding what actually secures our ultimate spiritual future. Teacher Lin makes a really bold clarification in his handouts. He explicitly states that conventional worldly successes, getting rich, having perfect health, or even just doing a bunch of good deeds or practicing other spiritual paths, none of that can actually guarantee rebirth in the Pure Land. Why? Simply because they all rely on our own flawed, limited human effort, instead of relying strictly on Amitabha's unstoppable original vow.
And that is exactly why Teacher Lin declares this specific 6-syllable name the undisputed king of all mantras. Sure, other mantras might give you some temporary worldly perks, but they cannot secure that ultimate permanent escape from the cycle of suffering. Only this specific name holds that ironclad, vow-powered guarantee for rebirth and ultimate Buddhahood.
So, how does this actually play out at the very end of life, especially for someone carrying a ton of heavy karma, what the Sutra calls the lower-level, upper-grade rebirth? It's actually a super straightforward process. Step 1. Even if you've got a mountain of negative karma, if you recite the name at life's end, boom, the sins of 50 billion eons are erased. Step 2. Amitabha instantly sends transformation Buddhas to welcome you. Step 3. You pass away peacefully, joyfully riding a lotus flower straight into the Pure Land to eventually attain full Buddhahood.
Which brings us to the ultimate message of reassurance in Teacher Lin's teachings. He says, because of this exact mechanism, you do not need to carry an ounce of fear or anxiety in your heart about this life or the next. You leap horizontally right out of the mess. You don't have to somehow perfectly erase all your bad karma first. You literally carry your remaining karma with you, wrapped safely in Amitabha's light, and you forever escape the cycle.
But wait, it actually gets better, because the journey doesn't end with just saving yourself. Teacher Lin highlights this incredibly beautiful, selfless final step. Once you attain Buddhahood in the Pure Land, you're a permanent resident with the power to come back. You hop right back on the boat of compassion to rescue countless generations of your loved ones, your parents, your siblings, your friends, across all time and space, bringing them all to the Pure Land too.
We've covered some profoundly deep ground today in this explainer. From treating our exhausted minds like a glitching computer that desperately needs a reboot, to real-world miracles, all the way to the ultimate cosmic promise. Teacher Lin Mingxiang's deep dive into the Visualization Sutra reveals a path that is remarkably simple, yet infinitely powerful. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. If a simple, 6-syllable code could truly erase 50 billion aeons of suffering and answer your deepest, most desperate calls, isn't it time to start reciting? Thanks for joining me, and keep seeking that light.